What we're going to be doing is finding profitable player props to put into a PrizePicks entry and an underdog entry. I have 1 6 pick option for PrizePicks, 1 3 pick option for underdog, and we can get right into it. Of course, before we get started, my name is Matt Modi, content producer and betting analyst for OddsJam.com. If you want to find me on the social medias, you can at my Twitter handle, Jedi Modi. And let's chat. So, PrizePicks Underdog. I'm assuming everybody watching this video is familiar with how they work. It's essentially like you're playing a player prop parlay. You're choosing 2 to 5 or 6 different players. You're choosing a stat for them to go over or under. Obviously, the more players you add, the more picks you have per entry, the higher the payout is. Of course, the risk is higher as well. The unique part, which is so fascinating about these DFS companies like PrizePicks and Underdog, is they don't charge any more or less per the individual bet, meaning the payout is exactly the same regardless of what player prop you are playing. LeBron James over, LeBron James under. It's the same exact price. So because of that fact, a huge opportunity is created to use PrizePicks and Underdog essentially to parlay player props that are likely to hit, more likely than not to hit, and that will be profitable in the long run, which I understand sounds like a caveman's analysis on things, like, oh, you want to find plays that are going to hit. That's really helpful, Matt. Thank you. But legitimately, that is the strategy, and I can talk you through it with providing an example. And this one is good on both PrizePicks and Underdog. So play this one on both PrizePicks and Underdog. The play is Matthew Tkachuk over 3.5 shots on goal. So right off the bat, I will say, when it comes to PrizePicks, the most optimal entries are 5 and 6 picks. With Underdog, the most optimal entries are 3 and 5 picks. That's how the math works out based on the payout. If you're interested in learning more about that, I just recommend you on the YouTube channel, same OddsJam YouTube channel, check out the math behind the PrizePicks and Underdog videos that we have on the YouTube channel explaining it. All you need to know, again, for this scenario, 5 and 6 pick is the most optimal for PrizePicks. 3 and 5 pick is the most optimal for Underdog. So again, the play here, Matthew Tkachuk over 3.5 shots on goal. So when we're looking at the play here on PrizePicks and Underdog, you can literally take the over or the under, right? You can take them over 3.5 or under 3.5. But look at where the other sports books, the actual sports books that price plays individually, look at where they price this. So we just start with Pinnacle, which is generally regarded as the sharpest. All the way at minus 136, the under is at plus 103. They're heavily favoring this going over, which is them telling you they think he is highly likely to go over his 3.5 shots on goal prop. Bet online, same thing at minus 141. I mean, just look across the board. Minus 143, minus 145, minus 160, minus 140, minus 135. Every single sportsbook across the board is telling you how likely they think he is to go over 3.5 shots on goal. So they're all making it more expensive to buy. Like if I was on DraftKings and FanDuel, just look at where they have this priced. Very unfavorable in terms of the payouts. Like you'd have to risk $160 to profit $100, excuse me, on FanDuel. And if you click this calculator here, it gives you the win percentage. This play is going to hit roughly 56% of the time. When that happens, sportsbooks charge you more money for it. That's how they make their money. If a play is likely to hit, they're going to make it more expensive. If not, it'd be really easy to take advantage of them. But that's what we're doing on PrizePicks. The difference is, of course, PrizePicks makes you parlay them together. But you can still find valuable plays on PrizePicks and Underdog, even with the parlay option, because of exactly this. So play number 1, we're looking at Matthew Tkachuk over 3.5 shots on goal. Again, that is one play on both PrizePicks and Underdog. The next play, and this is just a PrizePicks one, is Mikal Bridges over 19.5 points. So this is going to be played specifically on PrizePicks. Unfortunately, not offered on Underdog, but same thing here. Look at where every other sportsbook is pricing it. Pinnacle at minus 144. ClutchBet, wherever the heck they are, minus 154. Minus 145 on DraftKings, and then like minus 137, minus 150, minus 155, minus 145. This play has just below still a 56% win percentage because of how likely it is that the sports books deem it to hit, we are being charged a lot of extra juice on these sports books as well, which we are not on PrizePicks. So Mikal Bridges over 19.5 points, really good play on PrizePicks. Next one here, and this one is only going to be on Underdog. So I have currently 2 on PrizePicks, and this is my second on Underdog, is Lou Dort over 1.5 made 3-pointers. So the win percentage for this one is 55.5%. Across the board, you can see why this is such an awesome play. The closest book, which is BetRivers, has it at -136, the under at +107, heavily favoring the over. Clutch Bet, -135. Every other book in the -140s up to -151, heavily favoring the over in terms of the likelihood of it hitting. No extra juice already being charged. Incredible value. Next play, and this one is only going to be on PrizePicks. So this is my third PrizePicks one, LaMelo Ball to go under 9.5 assists. Same logic here. Every single sportsbook is heavily favoring this going under, including Pinnacle at -161. Then across the board in the -130s up to -140, with the closest being -127, but they're still heavily favoring it going under. So LaMelo Ball under 9.5 assists is very good. And then Dorian Finney-Smith, and this is another one that is just going to be on PrizePicks. So my fourth play on PrizePicks is Dorian Finney-Smith under 5.5 rebounds. Similar logic here. It's always going to be the same. Every single sportsbook that is pricing it is heavily favoring the under. Pinnacle at -157. Every other book between -130, -140. Every single sportsbook heavily favoring the under, telling you how likely they think the under is to hit. So they're charging more money for it. But because we're playing this on PrizePicks, we are not getting charged any extra juice. So that's 4 plays currently on PrizePicks and 2 on Underdog. But the positive expected value page is not the only way you can find profitable bets on PrizePicks. Another really good one is using the low holds market. So the way the low holds works, you can filter specifically for a book. In this case, we're looking at PrizePicks, right? You just type them in, PrizePicks. We want to play 5 or 6 pick flexes, as I mentioned. And it provides opportunities where PrizePicks is giving you the best offered odds. The reason why I have that in quotation mark is because we know that PrizePicks doesn't place odds to individual player props, but based on how the payouts work for 5 and 6 pick flexes, the implied odds per individual leg, if you just take into account the payout, is -119. So that's kind of what we use as the basis, is -119. Again, the math behind that is detailed in a previous video if you're interested. But it gives you plays that are best offered on PrizePicks. So you can't blindly take plays on the low holds page like you can on the EV page. Like, you don't really need to do any work on the EV page. You just filter specifically for PrizePicks, specifically for Underdog, and you can play every single one of these without really needing to think. That's not quite the same on the low holds page. When you are playing something on the low holds, you need to click into the play itself, which is what I was doing here, but it's necessary on the low holds page. Anywhere in which it's highlighted blue, you just literally click your mouse and it pulls up the screen that we've been looking at this entire time, where every sportsbook prices it. So when you're playing from the low holds page, you just want to confirm that every single sportsbook does in fact favor the over. That's the case in most situations, not every single one, but it is the case in this one. Kyle Kuzma over 6.5 rebounds. My 5th play on PrizePicks. Look at every other sportsbook. Same thing here with every single other one. Pinnacle heavily favoring it at -159, -130 across the board, up to -145 at Caesars. Great play. Kyle Kuzma over 6.5 rebounds. And then my last play on PrizePicks is going to be Caleb Martin under 10.5 points plus assists. Same thing here. Every single book that prices it is heavily favoring the under, -125 up to -145. So that is my 6th play on Underdog, or on PrizePicks, excuse me. I need to find one more on Underdog, so it's the same exact scenario. We are literally just filtering specifically for Underdog. And it looks like the play here is one that we've already locked in. Matthew Tkachuk over 3.5 shots on goal. So that is what we have offered here for Underdog. And that is going to be it. So it looks like it's going to be a 2-pick play on Underdog, which isn't ideal. But in that case, if you're only having the options played for you. It's only so much you can do in a 6-pick one on PrizePicks, and that's going to be it. So I appreciate everybody watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on the social medias, and that's it. So again, thanks for watching, and have a good one.